Welcome to the Sharpe Way Show, our special 6 p.m. edition Eastern Time. It is Christmas Eve, so it is my holiday show. I do have to get out of here at a decent time, else my family will want to just hang me on the tree. I'd rather that not happen. So thank you all for those of you who are able to check in live. I appreciate it. Some of you I know are going to be watching this later because you're doing other cool things with family and friends. I get it, but no matter what, when you watch this now live or later, please like, comment, share. I know I say it every time because it does matter. Please like, comment, share. That click matters. That share matters. That comment matters. It gets those algorithms going so that we can rock and roll and keep this going. You want to give me a Christmas present? You can. Patreon.com. It's a great way of saying Merry Christmas to me if you want to. You don't have to if you don't want to, though. Instead, head over theadvocates.org. Share that to other people. Let them see it. Let them take the test there. Makes everybody happy. If you're going to get a little relaxed for the holiday season, head over to grownselection.com. Make a purchase. Sharpe Way 20 for 20% off. I want to share something of a personal story if I could. I know I do that often, but I do it a lot because I want you to know where I am and who I am and where I come from, and how I think and what shaped me as a person. Many of you know that my father passed away when I was young, 11, 12 years old. Prior to that, my family was very different. Some of you may not know my history, so I'll give you a brief history. I was adopted, born in Manhattan. I was adopted. My adopted mother brought me home, and about 2 years later, they got divorced. I never saw my adopted father again. My mother hooked up with another man who raised me, and I consider him my father. That's the man who died when I was 11. So, but prior to that, we lived together, three of us. I was an only child. But he also had two other children from a previous marriage. And at one point, my mother, trying to grow a larger family, asked those two children to come live with us. They were in foster care. And they did. So I had two older brothers for a short period of time, maybe 4 or 5 years, give or take, in the area. I don't remember how long it was. They were kind of my brothers for a bit. And while I had them as my stepbrothers and we were a larger family, our Christmases and Thanksgivings became rather large. Christmas became a big deal. My mom would cook 2 meats, or we go to different places in our family. And for those of you who know, there are many people who celebrate Christmas as Christmas Eve is the big day. And my mother came from that tradition in Germany where Christmas Eve was the big day. My father was more of a Christmas Day is the big day. So often I had 2 Christmases. We'd go someplace and have a nice Christmas, then daytime, and then next day go over, have another Christmas, get gifts from parts of our family. We had lots of family in Brooklyn. We lived in the Bronx at that time. We had lots of family in Brooklyn. We go to Brooklyn, big family. And traditional, for those of you know what I'm talking about, traditional Black family Christmas. Macaroni and cheese, pumpkin pie, chicken, everything, ham, big ham with the pineapple on top, the whole deal, everything you could imagine. That's what we did. And I was accustomed to that as a little kid. Then my father died. And by 12, my father's side of the family basically abandoned us. Left. Didn't care about us at all. My 2 brothers left. Shortly after. Didn't see much of them after that either. All of a sudden, it was basically me and my mom. That's who it was. From a large family, it became me and my mom. And all of a sudden, little things that became difficult were things like, who's going to put up the Christmas tree? Well, I guess 12-year-old Larry would do so. Who's going to be responsible for things around the house? As my mother had to have 2 jobs to retain a house that was meant for 5 people that now only had 2 in it. She didn't want to lose it. She didn't want to go back to the Bronx. She wasn't prepared for that. So she'd work 2 or 3 jobs. And Larry had to do all these things. It changed what I thought of. It changed what Christmas was about for me. It changed from being all about my extended family, right, which was huge for me at one point, to all of a sudden being just me and my mom and any person or people that we happened to meet who didn't have someplace to go on Christmas. And Christmas Eve, which was our big day, was often dinner that my mom would cook, me, her, and often a different person or people, a couple who didn't have any place to go. That's kind of where most of my Christmases were as a teenager. We're like that. Then when I'm 17, I pack up and I move and I join Marine Corps and I get out. And when I left, I didn't come back for a long time. I was gone. I had my purpose was without question clear. I was happy overseas. My mom wasn't. She wasn't at all. My mom was a widow at 35, which I know is terrible for most people. My father was 6 years older than her. He was 41 when he passed. She was 35 when he died. And she was a widow at 35 years old. If you've had that happen in your life or know someone, you know what that's like. So, and my mom was also very traditional, European, traditional. She wore black for 2 years. She was in mourning for 2 years from my father. In mourning, wore black for 2 years. 2 years she wore black, I saw how unhappy she was. But to be forward, the first year of her mourning and wearing black was actually good for her. It kind of gave her purpose and focus and made her realize, and she kind of deified my father. I deified him because he had died so young, and it gave us some purpose. But there's 3 parts to happiness that you'll hear me talk about often. That one was missing. You have to feel loved. And when my father was alive, my mom felt loved. When he passed away, she didn't feel as loved. I was too distant. I loved my mother. I always did. I loved her until she died. I was distant. I was a kid who just lost his father, lost his family, and I was a distant teenager. So I was distant. As much as I did love her, and I did, I was just distant. I couldn't be that person. I was also too immature. You also have to feel respected. My mom did feel respected. She felt respected in her job. She felt respected in her in the fact that she was so loyal to my father. She felt respected in many ways by her peer group. But you also have to have purpose. Love, respect, purpose. She lost her purpose. She lost it. Her purpose kind of became me and keeping the house over my head. And when I left, my mother no longer had love, no longer had purpose, and eventually would have no respect because she began to fail at all her jobs and all her work because the other 2 were not there. And it showed in her work. And she no longer had that. And that's when she went into a situation where she became a drug addict, first illegal drugs, and then eventually illegal drugs. And she was then eventually arrested and was a convicted felon. So that all fell into place while I was overseas in the Marine Corps. And I had to come back. And I saw, as it was happening, it was happening before I left. In many cases, when I was younger, I didn't even understand it. But I saw it as it was happening. As I became distant, she became more distant, because those of you who know, if you've had an addict in your life, when the addict is still active, if you know what I mean, when they have the option between the drug and you, they always pick the drug. That's what happens. That's how it works. My mom was special or not special. She was just human, and that's what happens. And she was constantly picking the drug over me. And the reason why I left, I wasn't important to her. So that's not true. I wasn't as important to her as the drug was. That's more accurate. So as that happened, and I came back years later, she was in trouble. I got out of prison, out of jail, brought her back up, used my savings that I had to get her set up. And we actually became closer than ever. The tragedy that struck her and me, but definitely her demons far more than mine, actually brought us closer together. By the time I was 23, 24, we were very close. We were closer than we've ever been. And before she passed, we were as close as we'd ever been. That horrible time wound up being, in the long run, what actually brought us back together. That tragedy was our purpose again. And she became part of my purpose as I left the Marine Corps. And I became part of her purpose. Putting that relationship back together became purpose. And something more important in her view was repairing her relationship in my eyes, repairing her image in my eyes. But the funny part is, she didn't have to. I didn't care. I loved her anyway. It didn't matter. But she believed it, and that's what mattered. She wanted to repair her own relationship, her own image in my eyes. Again, it gave her purpose. She was loved. And because of what she was doing, I respected her tremendously for pulling herself out of a bad position that many people can't do. And she did, getting herself back in action. And many of you know, as another way that I was trying to make this happen, the reason why I became an entrepreneur was because of this, right? My My mother, and for those of you, you might wonder why I think the way I think many times and why I do the things that I do. My mother had a problem getting a job and keeping a job. She was a convicted felon, so she had to lie on all the forms. Oh, not a felon, not, no, never convicted. Did a background check. They find out she lied. She didn't get a job. If they found out later, they'd fire her. When she had a job, she felt like she was trapped. She was a hostage. She couldn't do anything, talk back to the boss, nothing, say anything, because one thing, she gets fired. There's no job waiting for her anywhere. The system's not made for her. So I became an entrepreneur. We started a business, a trucking business, just some of you know about that I did. And when we made a trucking business, I had no ownership in it. She was 100% owner. She was. I did that with me, her, and my step-pop at that time. She had remarried. Step-pop at that time. And the three of us started this business. I did most of the sales. I did a lot of the driving, dispatching, whatever it took. I had no ownership of that company. I wanted my mom to be 100% owner, because if she's the owner, no one can fire her. Done. No one can fire. Hostage situation solved. Done. No more hostage for my mom. That's done. And that was it. She never had a job ever again. She was always the boss. No one could ever fire her. No one could ever judge her. It was just her. I made sure that was going to be that until the day she passed away. That was important to me. I wanted to make sure that was going to happen. And it did. But with that in mind, that's what gave her pride and respect and purpose and love. And even though she passed about 7 years ago, she was actually pretty happy. She was pretty happy. Why do I tell you this story? Why do I bring all this stuff up on this holiday season? Because this year was a very tough year for a lot of us. Many of us struggled. A lot of people lost someone they loved. A lot of people lost a career or a job or an opportunity or school, a scholarly opportunity. Some people lost businesses, hurt badly. And now, are we going to be sitting together during Christmas holiday time talking about these things? Maybe. Some people are not going to want to talk to you. Some people are going to want to talk to you. But if you're a person, and I want to go to both sides of this. If you're a person who's done relatively well, if you have, right? Maybe you didn't lose that much. You lost a little. You were, messed up, but you were fine. You didn't miss a paycheck. You didn't lose anybody. You did relatively well. Realize that some people may feel bad about that. And don't be mad at them if they are, because maybe they didn't do so well. Maybe you were the one who did well and they didn't. And when they come to you and maybe even talk about their problems. Oh my God, my daughter this, my grandma died, insert bad thing. I lost my job, insert bad thing here. I want you to remember something. You don't have to fix them. You don't have to make them happy. You don't have to tell them it's going to be okay. That's not what they're asking for. And if you do that and go, oh, don't worry, there's starving people in Africa. You'll be fine. You're not as bad as them. Cheer up. Your life is not that bad. You're making things worse and you're being selfish. It feels awkward to you if you're that person, right? You're the person who didn't do that badly and someone is doing badly. It feels awkward for you. So you say that so that you don't feel awkward. Just be quiet. Feel awkward. Listen. If you care about that person, just listen. You don't have to solve their problem. Give them advice. Tell them it'll be okay. If you do that, you are actually hurting them. You're making things worse because now they feel like their despair, their depression, their sadness isn't justified. Now they're ungrateful too. Oh my God, they're terrible. You've just made the spiral of despair worse. Just listen. That's it. Be a shoulder for them to cry on or an ear for them to talk into. If it makes you feel uncomfortable, imagine how they feel. If you feel uncomfortable, imagine how they feel. Just listen. That's it. If they want some advice, they'll ask for it. And if they want it, give it. If they want advice, give it. This movement's all about consent. You know what? You want my advice? I'm going to give it to you. You don't want it? I'm going to shut up. How about that? How about that? This will help tremendously. Understand they're looking for three things: love, respect, and purpose. You will hear me say all the time, jokingly but not, I still love you. I say it all the time. People who know me well know I say it all the time. But so-and-so happened. I get it. I still love you. I get it. I still love you. I'm still giving you love. no matter what happened. And if I'm still talking to you and listening to you, I'm giving you respect. The only thing you need now is some purpose. If they're asking for that, help them find that. Otherwise, what you're doing is ensuring that when you don't have love, when you don't have respect, when you don't have purpose, when you have none of those three, almost always, you'll become self-destructive. That's just human nature. You become self-destructive. You don't want to be part of that. You don't want to help someone become self-destructive. You don't want to do that. You want to be the one who helps them not become self-destructive, that holds on to them when they need it. That's who you should be. The more you do, I told you so, the more you do, well, what you need to do is, the more you do that, the more you're helping them become self-destructive. The more you say, I still love you. I got you. You're still good. We're still okay. We're good. What can I do to help? What's the next step? What do you think is going to happen? How can we fix this? What do you think? What do you think? And get them to say something to move forward. Now we can change how this works. When you're with people this year, if that's happening, please be the person who listens, not the person who scolds or says, I told you so, whatever. It's not helpful. What's the reverse? You're the one who you got beat up this year. You're the one this year was tough for you. You lost your job, or you lost your career, or you lost your friend, or you lost your business, you lost your uncle, your aunt, your grandma, your grandpa. You lost somebody and you're hurting because it's messing you up now. You've lost your purpose. You've lost something. You've lost your respect, or you've lost love. And now you're in trouble. I'd ask you only one thing. Reach out to somebody. Please reach out. Just do it. I've been there. 2009, 2010 was the worst years of my life. 2010 was the absolute worst year of my life. That's when the world was ending for me, and I didn't reach out. And I suffered tremendously for it. I was at that point when I was considering self-destructive behavior. I've been there. I've been there with suicidal ideation. I've been there. It's not a good place to be. It's just not. Reach out to somebody. Holiday season. I know it's supposed to be joy and fun and awesome and great, and everybody's happy and count our blessings. I know, but sometimes it isn't. So reach out. It's okay. And I would ask someone else, if that phone rings, please either answer that phone or respond really fast. One or the other. If that phone rings, answer the phone or respond really fast. Well, Larry, I'm busy. We're all busy. We're all busy. Do you care about someone during this time? Then answer your phone or respond quickly. Either one, if you care about the person who might be on the other end, respond. That's all I'm saying. Respond. You don't got to all of a sudden call them right away. Let's talk for an hour. I'm not saying that. But respond. Hey, got it. Got your note. Saw you called. Can I buzz you at 7? Respond. That's all I'm saying. Do that. Reaching out matters. We're not connecting like we used to. This is nice. I like this. But it isn't the same. Not the same as a hug. Not the same as a handshake. Not the same as a smooch. Not the same. Good. Not the same. If you can get together, I get it. If you can't, I get it. But either way, connect to the best of your ability. People need those 3 things. They need feel loved, feel respected, have purpose. And for all of those things, you need community. If I'm going to sit here and talk about government this, government that, government this, okay, great. Get rid of the government. I'm with you. Burn the government down. Oh, yeah, it's awesome. People still need services and people still need help. And the government's not going to be there. Who has to be there? You, me. Yes, we have to be there for people. If we're going to push our government away, I'm good. Push it away. But we got to step up. Someone's got to. If not, who? If not us, it's government. You can guarantee it. And here's one thing I'm sure of. Government can't love you. I can. You can. Government can't. That's impossible. That's impossible. Government can hold you just long enough until you decide that it's not worth it anymore. Then that's the end. Please, no blaming. If someone is messing up now, don't mess with them now. Help them first, then move on. I tease my oldest daughter, and I say, if you ever get in trouble, the first person you call no matter what is me. The first person you call is me. You get in trouble. Nobody else. Because I will not get mad at you now. I won't yell at you now. I'll help you solve the problem. Then I'll get mad at you. But I won't get mad at you now. I'm the only person on the planet who will do that, and I'm the only one to help you bury the body. Nobody else will. So you call me first. Well, you need to have that friend too. When you have that friend, call them, and you want to be that friend. Don't kill people, though, by the way. I don't want you hiding back. Killing's a bad idea. Don't do that. But anyway, so what I wanted to say this whole time was understand that today is this weekend, these weeks are supposed to be the happy time. And for some people it will be, for some people it won't. And if it's not for you, don't let despair, don't let temporary despair turn into depression. Don't let self-destructive behavior become the ultimate end. Don't let that happen if you're in trouble. Reach out to somebody. And if you're that person who's not there, but you know people who might, don't be a know-it-all. Don't be a blame. Don't be a I told you so. And don't try to fix everybody. You don't have to. Just listen. You do that, we'll have a better holiday season. All right, guys, I'm going to grab some comments here. I'm sure some of you are going to be mad at me because people don't always like what I'm saying, but that's okay. It's okay if you're not. Happy holidays. Thank you to you and yours. Absolutely. Merry Christmas. Yes, I do celebrate Christmas. For those of you who do not, I understand. I hope you still enjoy your days off. For those of you who don't, but I do celebrate Christmas. And now Christmas Day is kind of more for me than it is Christmas Eve now. We're probably not doing Christmas Mass, which for those of you who don't know, my family is Greek Orthodox, Eastern Orthodox. So we do Easter Mass and Christmas Mass, but probably not tonight because COVID. So none of that this evening. I have some I posted pictures, but thank you. Yes, Merry Christmas, John. I appreciate that. Yes, absolutely. My cool thing is to watch this with my family. Thank you, Sam. I appreciate that very much. Yes. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Absolutely. Thank you. Merry Christmas. Absolutely. Happy holidays. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Yes. During your downtime, a great movie with many libertarian themes, Zappa, 49 rental. Yes, it is, John. Thank you. For those of you who have some time off, it's not a bad time to watch a movie with your family. Absolutely. 100%. Yes. Larry, did you see King Cuomo say Santa will be good to him? Yes, I literally mentioned that. Yes, Santa will be good to him. Yes. He is horrible to even say that. If you're doing well now, and some people are still doing fine. Some people didn't miss a paycheck. Some people are great. Good for you. I'm not mad at you for that. I hope we all would be that way. I'm not mad at you. You don't have to rub it in, is all I'm saying. You don't have to. You can, but it's kind of a jerk move. And for the governor to say Santa's going to be good to him this year, wow, what a bad person. What a terrible person to say that. I have an idea. Shut up. Just shut up. Say nothing. Go enjoy your family and be quiet. You don't have to. You're the governor of the state. What are you doing in a state where just in New York City, 400,000 people left this year, just in New York City. Another 100,000 at least left from upstate. We lost 500,000 people this year who left this terrible state because of him. And his mouth is open. It's horrible. He's embarrassing. He's embarrassing. I thank you for. Now you got me going. Are you going to run for governor again? I will announce in the summer if I do. Christmas is a time to be joyful that Christ, God in the flesh, is born as a savior for mankind. If the apostles could undergo torture and death with thankfulness and love in their hearts because of Christ, I think we can still have a Merry Christmas. Nick, yes and no. And please don't be upset when I say this. I'm being very forward. It's wonderful that you say that. I agree. We can. The issue is we need support to do that, particularly if you're in a bad spot, right? There were 12 apostles, right? Not one. And they had Jesus. Not too shabby for a leader, right? For a head of your family. Everybody has that. So maybe they need to. This is one of the reasons, to your point, which is why I was so against shutting the churches down, shutting the temples and the synagogues down. A lot of people go to church for community. They do. You're right, Nick. But it's hard if you don't have that support structure. You got to have that support structure, and people to pat you in the back and say, brother, it's going to be okay. I got you. I got you. I know you're hurting. People hurt. I still love you. Still respect you. Let's go do something. So I'm with you, and I have to put an and here, and that can be hard if we don't have community. And shutting down churches was one of the biggest reasons why I was against shutting down churches, not just because it's in our constitutional right. That's obviously important. But also many people in our world use church as a form of community. It's people that they agree with, they get together. And one of the most in good congregations, this doesn't always exist. I've been in parts of a couple of them. Most congregations, the vast majority, are super forgiving. Super forgiving. That's what people need sometimes. Open. Come on in. I got you. I know you fell down this year. I know you lost some out of this year. And I'm here. So yes, and We have to have that community to make that easy. Otherwise, you're often asking people too much. They're just humans. Pineapple on top. See, now you get me mad. This is Christmas. Stop with that. Yes. Love is the best gift of all. Yes, it is. Absolutely. 100%. Yes. Merry Christmas, Larry. Thanks for doing the show tonight. Yep, absolutely. 100%. Yes. Pineapple doesn't go on ham anymore. That goes on pizza. Oh, see, I knew he was trying to do that. Yeah, the pineapple, I knew you would do. See, you messed up. Yes. Pineapple can go on top of ham. Yes. Used to, at least when I was a kid, it did. But now he has to mess with the pizza. See that, Brian? You started your trouble. Now, no, not on pizza. Ham, yes. Pizza, no. Yes. I was holding the family court for inviting a homeless friend to our house for Christmas. Horrible. Horrible. We used to we would find people who just had no place to go, and they would come to our house. And my mom wanted purpose. She wanted to cook for somebody, right? She wanted to have a family is what she wanted. I didn't realize that when I was 14. I had no idea why she was doing it. I thought it was cool. I was like, all right, these guys are coming. Okay. I didn't mind it. But I look back now as an adult and I can realize she just wanted family. She wanted to have a reason to cook. She wanted a purpose to use our home. She wanted a purpose to do these things. So yeah, I know it's bad. So that sounds like my mom after my mom and dad got divorced. Yeah. It's, when you begin to lose purpose, it's human nature, right, David? It's what people do. It's what people do. Yes. So, Larry, I consider you to be a member of my family. Andrew, thank you, brother. Thank you so much. That's amazing. Thank you. I feel great. Thank you. Yes. So, I've been widowed for almost 8 years now. It's not as easy as people think. Yeah. Yes. Shelly, I watched my mom go through that. It isn't at all. And it's funny. People may think that as you get older, it might get easier, right? That's the thought process. Well, you're older, so I don't think that's true. I think it doesn't matter how old you are when you're widowed, widow or widower, either one. I don't think that the age matters. I think it's what kind of connection you had, right? What kind of connection did you have? And in the case of my mother and father, they had together worked to get us out of the Bronx, right? We were in the South Bronx, in a not a very good neighborhood in the South Bronx. My mother and father worked together as DJs and cleaning houses and part-time entrepreneurial work to make enough money to get us out of the Bronx. And as a teenager, I lived on Long Island as a teenager. And for those who don't know, New York City, Long Island is a suburb of New York. Long Island's a suburb of New York City. And it was a big deal for us, right? It was a big deal for us. Like, oh, Jefferson's moving on up. So we thought it was a big deal. So that connection they had together. And then once we got out there, he died almost right away. He basically worked to get us out there and then died. So I think it was devastating for her. So yeah, when you lose someone who you might feel, particularly if you have a good relationship where there's almost unconditional love and a long connection, it's devastating. So I'm sorry for your loss, Shelley. I really am. So. All right, see if I keep going. My mom and dad got divorced when I was a baby, and my grandfather was my father figure for 16 years. Wow. When he passed away, it took a huge toll on me. Of course, it's like your dad died. Absolutely. Flash forward to now with loss of my grandmother, it still takes a huge toll on my mom and I, since we were her and my grandfather's caregiver. Yeah, caregivers is tough too, right? That's another issue that we deal with, right? When our loved ones get older, we become their caregivers. Absolutely. So. All right. Thank you to Larry's family for sharing it with us today. Yes, but after this, I'm going to them. So see, I'm being good. That's why it's a little early today, so I can go have my Christmas Eve dinner. Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. I'm so sorry to hear that is a great line, and just be quiet after that. Hannah, yes. Thank you. Listen to Hannah. She is correct. Yes, listen to her, please. It's enough to just go, I'm so sorry to hear that. You'll hear me off and go, that's terrible. It's terrible. I wish that didn't happen. It's terrible. And just listen. What people often want to be is connected. When bad things happen, we often feel, and I'm sure many of you have seen this happen. When bad things happen in your life to you, and you look outside the world, and the world's still turning, right? When Shelley loses her spouse, when Andrew loses his grandfather, the world's still going. It's still going. It didn't stop because we had loss, right? When you lose your job, when you get fired or your business goes under, when my business went under in 2010, When my littlest daughter was having heart surgery and almost died. My mom was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer, all in the same week. The world was ending for me. The world was ending for me. The world kept turning. The world didn't stop because I was in horrible spot. But when you talk to someone and go, my world's ending, and they go, oh my God, I'm sorry. And they don't just keep walking. They don't just try to push it away. Oh, you'll be fine. They don't say, just let the world go spinning. Shut up. When they instead stop and go, let me stop the world with you for just 2 minutes. Like Hannah saying, go, I'm sorry to hear that. The world's going to stop for you for these couple of minutes. Tell me what's going on. It makes the world of difference to someone who's feeling pain. And when you felt pain, you know what I'm talking about. When you felt it and the world just seemed to keep going on without you. You don't want to keep going on without you. You want to stop and recognize the pain you feel. Well, be that person. Be Hannah. Be like Hannah. And feel that person's pain. And I got you. Go ahead. I got you. Yes. So you have discredited their emotions. Yes, absolutely. Thank you. Discredit, even better. Thank you, Shelley. Yes. You've just said their emotions are invalid. They don't matter. Absolutely. And they do. Yes. Happy Christmas Eve. I have a question. How much tar and feathers will $600 buy? I think enough. Well, it might be $2,000, Brian. So that might be a whole lot of tar and feathers. So, or maybe we need a rail to get them out of town on. Any of those things would be fine. It's a good one. I like that. Maybe I should go into the tar and feather business. Is that what I need? That's where I'm going to make my money. My fiance lost her job. We created a company. She's the president. I'm just a measly manager. Yes, John, keep going. Why is this important? The story is telling me I made the right decision. Yep. We got killed with Christmas sodas this year. 16 to 20 hour days, and I never saw her happier. Purpose, John. She's got purpose. She's got respect, and she's got you. So she's got love. That's happy. Doesn't matter how hard or not how hard she worked. That's not the issue. The issue is she's got love. She's got respect. She's got purpose. She's rocking up. John, you're doing something right. Keep doing that. You're doing something right. Now that the order, I'm 16 to 20 hours a day. I never saw her happier. Now that the orders have slowed down, she's rejoicing in that success. Good for her. Good for her. And good for you for caring that much about that. Thank you for caring so much about your fiance. Amazing. So, if you know or can offer specific help, can I bring you a casserole? I'm going to the store. Are you low on any staples? Hannah, you are killing it. Yes. Guys, just call Hannah for advice. Yes. It's funny. I remember how someone was blown away when this happened. This is many years ago, but one of my close friends passed away. And his wife was making phone calls telling people that he died. And I could tell how much she hated it. I mean, she didn't want to tell the story about how he died again. She just didn't want to do it. It was killing her. And I heard it in her voice. And the first thing I thought of is, I don't want to go, if there's anything you need, which everyone says that, Hannah, if anything, just ask. I knew what she needed for someone else to make these calls. And since I was close with her husband, I knew many of his friends. We were close friends. I said, can I make the phone calls? Let me take these people. And I literally took a list of people that I knew that we all knew, and I wrote them down and said, I'll call these, but I got this. She was like, Larry, thank you so much. I just made phone calls. Probably was, 45 minutes to an hour out of my day, maybe, right? Maybe it was that. I don't remember exactly. This is probably 10 years ago. I don't know how long ago it was, but it was a while ago. But I heard it in her voice. So I got on the phone and I made 12, 15 calls, whatever it was. And I told the story of what happened. And she told me, I passed it on when the service was. I did everything. I did all that stuff for 12 people. I'm sure she had more. Did I all of a sudden take away her pain? No. She lost her husband. Her pain didn't go away because I did that. Did I make it a little less bad? Yeah. I made it a little less bad. And I didn't do it only by saying, I'm so sorry, which everyone else said. I said, let me take something off your plate. Let me bring you a casserole. Yes, I'm going to the store. Let me bring home some eggs for you. Let me bring home some bacon for you. Whatever you eat, whatever's your thing, right? Let me do that. 100%, Hannah. Talk to her. Absolutely. Liberty Means $5 charity club. You know what? I'm going to get on this week. Thank you, Ryan. Good. Thank you. I'm a member, and I did nothing this month. I'm sitting here I'm talking trash, and being selfish. Thank you, Ryan, for putting that bug in my ear. I will go on this week and I will donate something. Thank you. Yes, I will. Good idea. I appreciate the nudge. Yes. Reaching out to you. Thank you for reaching out to us, getting folks like me to think differently and treat people with dignity. Thank you, David. Yes. Critical part, right? Giving people respect. Absolutely. 100%. Yes. So to boost my mom's and my spirits, we talk to our friends and family members. It honestly helps when you talk to someone. It makes my mom and I feel better. Of course, the world doesn't just keep going. The world stops for a few minutes. Yes. And we deal with it. Absolutely. Yes. So, Merry Christmas to you, Byzantine. Oh, yes. 12th day of Christmas is Epiphany. Yes, absolutely. Us Eastern Orthodox. Yes, I get it completely. Thank you so much for that. Yes. Don't forget to give mad props to doctors, nurses, EMTs, caretakers, retailers, anyone working Christmas. Yes, some people are working 100%. We only need each other's support. Nothing can beat that. Yes, that's exactly right. Support's everything. It completely is. And sometimes it's just listening. Sometimes it's physically being there. Have you ever had this happen when someone's feeling really bad and you just kind of go to them and sit down next to them? I've done that before. I remember the chaplains in the military. Man, I love those chaplains. They were magical. They had like magic powers. They were so good. Bad stuff would happen, and they would just like sit next to you. That's it. Just sit there. So good. Oh, magical. Human contact is just so good for us, and we forget about it. And we think things like, and I don't mean to be flippant here, but we always go, this is life and death. And life and death, you could kill somebody, you could murder somebody. What good's your life if you can't enjoy it? What good is your life if you can't live it the way you want to live it? What good is your life if you can't find the joy and the grace that you want to find in your life? What good is it then? What are you doing? And that's part of community. Absolutely. My family who lives out of state and I have the right to see them anytime I want without some dimwit telling me that I can't. If they're too scared, then let them stay home. You know, it's a valid point, right? I mean, the story that you'll hear me talk often about my parents, my mother and father both died of cancer. When my father died of cancer, he was younger. As I said, he was 41 when he actually died. He was sick for 2 years before that. He was all about keep me alive. My life matters. I want quantity of life. I'm too young. That's what he believed. That's what he thought. Cut me open. Give me chemo. Whatever it takes. Keep me alive. My mom was older when she passed. She was in her 60s when she passed. She was like, no, I want quality of life. I want to spend time with my grandchildren. I want to spend time with my son. And if I'm in a spot where I can't spend quality time with them, let me go. That was what she wanted. In fact, she went to an amusement park with my daughter, her granddaughter, and she was wearing a mask. This is probably 7 years ago. Doctors told her, you go to this amusement park, you might catch something, you might die. She's like, all right, okay. If I die, spend my last moments with my granddaughter, I'm good. That's what her head was. And to Anna, to your point, both are correct. Neither is the wrong answer. You own your own life, and you should live it the way you want to live that life. And if spending time with your grandkids is your priority, good on you. If staying alive no matter what, good on you. I have two people who are elderly in my life, both in their 80s, both have pre-existing conditions. They don't want me to see them. They're worried. They're scared. And they are exactly in the zone of COVID hammering. Over 80 pre-existing conditions. They know that if COVID gets them, the odds are they're finished. And I know it too. I respect them. I love them. I stay away. And I've done what Hannah said. I've done this before, actually. I have a car in New York City. So sometimes I've driven over and dropped off stuff for them. And when I do it, I mask up, I glove up, I have a can of Lysol. I'm not joking. A can of Lysol. I give them stuff, put Lysol on top. And I walk away. Ring the doorbell. Thank you. And I take off. And then we talk on the phone or we text. Well, actually, we don't text. We Facebook message. We don't text. Old people use Facebook. So yeah, we're doing it now. So yes. So that's what we do, right? That's how we deal with it. Or we text or whatever the case may be. And that's it. Because that's what they want. Now, I have one person in my life who's in his 70s. No pre-existing condition, diabetic. But he doesn't care. He's like, I want to have fun. I want to meet people. And he comes over sometimes and I'll see him and we'll meet and we'll talk because that's what he wants. And he's like, if I get it, I get it. I want to have fun and live my life. He's in his 70s. He's got diabetes, but he doesn't care. That's what he wants. He's right too. That's it. He does mask up though and all those things he does, but he goes out and does what he wants. 100%. So, Merry Christmas. Much love and warm thoughts. Yes, absolutely. Merry Christmas, Larry. Merry Christmas to you too. Absolutely. I always offer to the person you can vent to without judgment. I have friends who are the same for me. Compared to possessions, this is the most valuable thing I have to offer, and my best friends can offer me. Yes, absolutely, 100%. But Larry, what if I do judge them? And that was my point I brought up earlier. What if they're saying or doing something that's really their fault? They put themselves in this spot themselves. They screwed up, made bad decisions, and now they're screwed. Well, do you love them or do you not love them? If you love them and they matter to you, don't scold them now. Scold them later, right? Do what Shelley says. Just don't judge. Hear them out. Oh, so bad, terrible. Okay, what can we do to fix it? How do we help? Okay, can I bring you a casserole? Right, whatever. Do that now. Get them out of that despair. Get them out of that bad headspace where they want to be self-destructive. Then, what's wrong with you? Maybe don't hit them. I'm teasing, but then do it when they can take it. Right? You don't want to kick a guy when he's down. Wait till he's up. He can take it and defend himself. Then tell him what's up. What are you thinking? This is your fault. Not when he's down. Get him up first. Prepare him or her. Fix her. Do that. That's what I want you. Thank you, Shelley. That's just brilliant. Thank you. Larry, I was talking to my bro about politics. I tried convincing him all drugs should be legal so that if you're dying from a deadly disease, and there's an illegal drug that may save you, you can try it. There's a thing that I brought up, and I wanted to, it's a story I tell. How things, how you would look at things differently. Let's say, for example, you had a young daughter who was terminally ill, dying of, say, some type of cancer that's, we can't cure. She's 7 years old, 8 years old. She's in terrible pain. She's in the horrible pain. She's at home with your family, and she's dying. Doctors say, take her home. There's nothing we can do. She's going to die. She's got maybe 3 weeks left. She's dying. No doubt. She's in pain every day. You can't afford drugs. You don't have that kind of money. You know what you can't afford? Heroin. I'm not joking. You can afford that. So you go out in the black market. You get some heroin. You give your daughter heroin to keep her feeling better, get rid of her pain. 2 weeks later, she dies. You gave your 7-year-old heroin. Wow. You're a bad dad. You're a bad mom. That kind of changes the whole look of the illegal versus legal drug. It makes you. Now, does that actually happen? I have no idea. I tell that story just because I want people to think differently about the drug. Any drug. Is this something you could do? What if none of that was illegal? Then there'd be a legal form that was safe that you could give your daughter, that you could afford to let your daughter pass away in peace. That would exist. Right now it doesn't because government says all opioids are expensive and controlled and you can't get what you want with your daughter without having lots of insurance or going bankrupt. Interesting story. I've never heard that actually be true. I made that story up for the sake of the argument, but it makes you think differently. Is the dad a bad dad? Is the government a bad government in this case? Who knows? But I think it's a valid point. If people need new drugs, maybe they should try them. The right to try that Trump did was not a bad idea. I'm happy with what he did when it comes to that. Yes. So, all right, let's see if I can do this. My family, with having German descent, opens our Christmas presents on Christmas Eve too. Yes, exactly. My mother was born outside of Frankfurt in Bad Homburg. So yes, absolutely. That comes to me too. But now my wife is Greek and wouldn't do that anymore. So yes, changed. Absolutely. Mary, because the government, I can no longer see a doctor and I'm dying without my meds. No money, no presents. We're even losing our home because of the government closing. Oh my God, Michelle, that is, yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Thank you for sharing that. There are a lot of people who wouldn't have shared that. Thank you for sharing it because there's other people who are watching or listening who are feeling something similar. Probably not exactly your pain, but probably something similar. And they don't want to say it and they don't want to act it and they don't. thank you for sharing. And I hope that you can, in some way, shape, or form, heal or mend in the coming months. I hope things change. It's not fair that the government shuts everything down, punishes us, and then we have to hope that they will give us something in return, some crumbs to make that work. It's a terrible situation. Michelle, I hope things get better for you. I really do. And thank you so much for sharing that. Any brothers and sisters out there, Uniform Defense Service, you can always reach out to me on here. Yes, even just the ear, hell, anyone. It's not exclusive to vets. I'm here, been through it. We made it through this year. It's hard. Absolutely. It's hard. 100%. So, all right. See if I can keep going here. Bad holiday for me, but thanks for the encouragement. This too shall pass. Merry Christmas. Thank you, Rory. For a lot of people, it is a terrible year. I get it. For a lot of people, had. You probably just saw Michelle's. She's in a terrible spot. A terrible, terrible spot. What I would say for you, Rory, and for you, Michelle, I wish I could make it better. I can't. What I can tell you is, I do feel you. A lot of us have been through it. I hope you get past it. And I hope that if things get worse, then maybe others can learn something. That's my hope. I hope that you can at least feel better and understand that we do feel you. And then we are here. And you know what? I care. If I didn't care, I wouldn't put it up. If I didn't care, I wouldn't bring it up. If I didn't care, I wouldn't be here with you. Wouldn't be doing a show. I know people are hurting this year. I know it. I see it. I get text messages. I get IMs. People reach out to me. I get it. I know people are hurting. So thank you, Rory, for trying to have a smile on your face. I appreciate that. I do. Yes. They probably are at least doing the midnight mass on TV. Oh, I think they are. You're right. Thank you, Byron. Thank you. Yes, I think they are. Now I have a reason to stay up till midnight now. See, I was going to scam and get some sleep. Now you messed me up. Thank you. Yes. Merry Christmas to you and your family. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yes. I offered my fortune and money for Christmas, and 3 told me to give it to the 4th, who has been hurt most this year. Oh, isn't that so awesome? Look at you, Shelly. You did a good job, Mom. Look at you. You did a good job, Mom. I offered my fortune and money for Christmas, and 3 told me to give it to the 4th, who's been hurt the most this year. You're a good job. You're a good mom. Well done. Your mom. Yes. Yes. My church, the Eastern Orthodox, and they're having services with masks and social distancing. Yeah. Do you live in New York City, David? I don't know, but my city, not so much. Not so much. Absolutely. So, Shelly, very thoughtful consideration. Yes, absolutely. See, we're with you, Shelly. We absolutely are. Yes, absolutely. People are social animals. They are not social network animals. There's a huge difference between in-person contact and network contact. Tracy, true, and I love your picture of you hugging the pooch. Yes, we like hugging. It's what we like to do. Absolutely. We do enjoy that. Yes. My great-uncle, Uncle Andrew on the Hamill side, grandfather's side, was named after the Apostle Andrew, and the name John on my great-uncle, grandmother's side, was named after John the Baptist. Look at you. All righty. I love that. Good. My New York dot sign said, celebrate responsibly, avoid lockdowns. What? Oh my God. I got it. That was a threat, by the way, Sam. That was a threat. Celebrate responsible or we will lock down you. That was a threat, actually. Well, Merry Christmas from Governor Cuomo. Yes, Merry Christmas from Governor Cuomo. Do as I say or I will punish you more. The beatings will continue until morale improves. Yes. You can avoid lockdowns by voting Libertarian. That's true. I wish more people would get that. Absolutely. As tough of a year this has been, it has taught me how much of a Libertarian I've become. I'm completely changed from back in March. Nice. I'm happy to hear that. Pineapple and watermelon are some overrated as foods. Okay, look, some people like pineapple, some people like watermelon. All right. Okay. I got it. Okay. Michelle, no family restraining orders from abuse. No food, can't even get meds because doctors refuse to see me. Not Mary. I'm dying alone because of the government closures and mandates. Michelle, if someone is in Michelle's area, Michelle, I'm not sure where you live. Please, you don't have to post it, obviously. But if you would let us know your city and your state. If someone is in that area, I would love if you'd reach out to Michelle, guys. Just reach out to her. It'd be nice to let her know that she's not alone. while maybe no one here can get her meds, or maybe no one here can do that, we can without question. There are people here who absolutely can give you some companionship and food. That we can do. I guarantee we can do that. So please, if someone would do that, you can also DM me. If someone wants to DM me, my team, if you're watching, I know someone on my team is. If you want to check on that, I would appreciate that, please. Happy Festivus, Larry. For Festivus, yes, it's right. We have to bring up Paul to Queen Como's house and tell him he's a love child of Frankenstein and Snooki from Jersey Shore. Ooh, that's not bad. He has Frankenstein's face with Snooki's brains. That's good. At Festivus, if that's your thing, awesome. Go ahead. We've always invited people who didn't have a place to go for any holiday meal. One big human family. Yes, absolutely yes. That's what my mom did for years. For years she did. We just have, people over who were either, many of them were immigrants. Some of them had recently lost somebody. Some people were working here and then couldn't go back to where they were from. Maybe they were from Indiana, they were from Ohio, working in New York, and they couldn't get back home for Christmas. So they sit with us. We'd have the dinner and lunch with them, whatever the case may be. Yes. So even though I'm person agnostic, I give my time to feed homeless people through a church. Community matters. Absolutely. And that was my point. Look, I'm not pushing any of you to be any more or less religious. That wasn't, thank you, Benjamin, for saying that. I hope none of you took it that way. Your religion is your religion. Your beliefs are your beliefs. All I'm saying is many people do use church in there as a community. Many people use church as a way of helping others and connecting to their community. So we should allow people to connect the way they want to connect, regardless of our own personal ideas of religion. So thank you, Benjamin, for clarifying that. I appreciate that. Yes. So, but Larry, Pete Clark is working. Thank you, Chelsea, for taking up Pete's cause, $27 trillion on a deficit. Can't go a show without it. I love that. Very good. Can't go a show without it. Larry, you're an essential worker for keeping us sane. Thank you. I appreciate that. Sadly, he has deemed me non-essential, but what are you going to do? King Cuomo and Comrade de Blasio should be deemed non-essential, and then we can restore freedom and liberty. That would be a very good thing. I like that. Yes. So let's see if I can keep going here, grab some more. Let's see. Michelle, I plan on sending a friend request after the show, but yeah, I'm with Shelly. What can we do? DM me. There we go. See, I hope there's something we can help. Absolutely. Yes. All right. Let's see if I can keep going. See if I can keep going. Do you like anything exotic in terms of snacks or candies? I got a case of birthday cake flavored Kit Kats. Oh, that's interesting. I got to tell you, when it comes to, I'm not a foodie. That's not who I am. Not really a foodie. I tend to be very simple in my food tastes. Salt, sugar, fat, like every human being likes. So I tend to be very, that tends to be what I like. If there's anything exotic, I don't think so. It's not my way. I tend to be very simple in my food taste. I'm not really a foodie at all. Food is much more just energy for me, fuel for me, than anything else. If I go out to eat or something, it's much more who I'm with more than what I'm eating. Far more than that. So, yeah, I think that answers your question. Yes. So, all right, let's see if I can do this here real fast. I'll grab a couple more. My cousin-in-law is an army chaplain. So you know what I'm talking about. Chaplains, they have magic powers. They just have magic powers. Yes. Tim O'Connor says, I wouldn't put up with me, that's for sure. Nobody would, Tim. I'm kidding. Tim's a great guy. I'm totally teasing him. Absolutely. Just completely, yes. Absolutely. So, by the way, do you do the Santa Claus tradition? I think it might be too socialist and a slight slander of St. Nicholas. No, we did tell my kids that there was a Santa Claus for a couple of years, but we told them earlier that there wasn't. Probably they were like 6 or 7. We told them early. And one of my biggest worries and why I told them early, I actually didn't want to tell my kids about Santa Claus. I didn't want to tell them about it. My wife did, so I shut up and we told them. But I wanted to end it early. I didn't want kids in school knowing and telling them. I didn't want my children believing that their parents would lie to them and their peer group would tell them the truth. I never wanted that to be a thing. And for many, many parents, that's a thing. They tell BS to their kids. Their peer group tells them the truth. They found that the parents were lying. They begin to believe the peer group. I don't want them believing their peer group more than me. So I went out of my way to make sure that I was open and honest early. And I've been that way often throughout my life. Very early with my children. I've been very open and honest, even in tough discussions, I've always been open and honest because, as I've said more than once, I can have my kids angry at me. I can't have them not trust me. That's the worst. They can be mad at me, whatever, fine, and they're dead, and I'm going to piss them off. I got it. I can't have them not trust me. That is unacceptable because when bad stuff happens, I can't have them, then say, yeah, I didn't think you would trust me, Dad, so I didn't. No, not a good idea. Not a good idea. So in any case, that's what I did. So, all right, so if I can grab a couple. Let's see here. I'm almost there on legalizing drugs. Oh, see that? There we go. I'm just concerned about adults getting teenagers walking home from school hooked and ruining their lives when they're not mature enough to handle it. What's another way I can think of the issue? They're already doing it. That's happening now, right? That's literally happening now. Think about, if you would, how alcoholism affects many, many kids now, right? Binge drinking and things of that sort. When I was a kid, when I was a youngster, it was still, you could still drink at age 18. So there was more beer in high schools. Because you could just go, 8-year-olds were in high school, they'd go get beer, and a lot more beer in high school, a lot more beer in high school parties, a lot more of that than there is now, a lot more beer now than it was then. And when they first changed the drinking age to 21, it was what you talked about, right? I don't want kids drinking, so I'll make the age 21. So did it get beer out of high school? No, but did it reduce it? Yes, it absolutely did. That was true. There was absolutely a reduction of beer in high schools after the law went to 21. But what happened in the opposite way? Well, what happened? They had a lot of weed. Marijuana use, cannabis use shot up in the schools because it was easy to get the illegal drug than it was to get the legal drug, right? It was when it was 18, it was easy to get beer. So they got beer. But when it became illegal, it became hard to get beer, right? So it became easy to get weed. So cannabis use shot up after that. That's number one. And number two, binge drinking shut up. Why? Because the average kid when I was a youngster would have beer at 16, 17, 15, in that area. Something like that would have some beer. Usually it was in your parents' basement or something like that, whatever the case may be. And you kind of learned how to handle your beer in a relatively safe environment. I mean, not safe, but relatively safe, right? Your family, friends, that type of thing, right? Where your mom or dad were still around, you learned stuff. By the time you went to college, you kind of knew something about alcohol. It doesn't happen anymore now. Now, most kids don't drink as much relatively compared to before. They drink when they get into college. What happens? Binge drinking. They have no idea how to drink. They pass out now in a frat room full of a bunch of, horny teenagers versus instead falling asleep in your, dad or mom's bed or your cousin's basement a different way. So you found a much bigger problem with binge drinking and a much bigger problem with weed and cannabis in high schools. So when you begin to make things illegal, you by default create a black market. I don't want black markets. I want people to be able to get help. People right now are being hooked on drugs. Right now, adults being hooked on drugs by painkillers. So I get your concern. The answer is education. And how does that work? Drunk driving is a good example. There's less drunk driving now because of, people knowing that it's a bad idea. There's less of it. There's lots of things with people knowing it's a bad idea. If you get people to stop, they'll stop. There'll be less of it. So can I stop? Can any of us ever stop all teenagers from getting hooked on drugs? No, we can never stop it. Can we lessen it tremendously? Yes, 100% we can. Of course we can. The right environment will do that. I hope that was helpful at least. So, all right. Let's see here. Yeah, they're already doing it on black market substances. Yep. Thank you, Hannah. Hannah, knocking it out of the park tonight. Thank you so much. Already there. Yes. All right. So let's see if I can keep going there. Larry, watch out when you say Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays. The woke morons may scold you for oppressing people that are unhappy or don't celebrate the holidays. These people are King, Cuomo, Comrade, Blasio's use days. Well, I say Merry Christmas because I celebrate Christmas. But I'll also say Happy Holidays to people who don't. I don't mind at all. I'm not insulted by any of those things. I say it because I celebrate it, so I say it. But I also say enjoy the holiday season because some people celebrate nothing, but it's still the holiday season. For those of you who don't celebrate anything special or have no reason to celebrate, okay, it's still a holiday season. Enjoy your days off. The guy across the street from me who runs the deli across the street from me, as you know, I live in Queens. All my stuff is across my street, walking distance, right? That's why you live in a city. He's from Tibet. I don't know if he celebrates Christmas. So I literally told him, I said, Merry Christmas if you celebrate it. If you don't, enjoy your days off in the holiday season. He goes, yes, I'm taking 2 days off. I said, good for you and your family. He goes, yeah, I'm going to relax. Done. Nobody got mad. Nobody got upset. I said what I do, and I hoped he had a good time. I think if you do it in a way that's just not being, if I'm just showing respect, not everyone has to celebrate Christmas. Even if you're Christian, you don't have to. I think you should. If you're Christian, I think you should. I think you should celebrate Christmas no matter what. That's what I think. But that's my opinion. And it's not because I think you should worship Jesus or not. I think if you're Christian, you should, obviously. But if you're not, you can still have a good time and enjoy some things if you want to. My view, my opinion. Take it for whatever you think it's worth. That's how I look at it. Whatever you think it's worth. It's all good. Yes. Joe loves watermelon and pineapple. So do I, by the way. They're good. I like them both. They are good. Absolutely. Yes. So, all right. Legal drugs bought from a dispensary where counselors are readily available is better than a dark alley. Also true. Yes. Very good. Also true. It's a great point. Now we have a shot, right? Now we have a shot. Absolutely. Yes. So all good. Guys, I want to say thank you so much for giving me this, this time. In my house, Santa filled stockings. I couldn't give credit to a fictional fat guy when so much work went into making presents happen. I like that. That's smart, Shelly. I want to thank you guys for giving me your Christmas Eve. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for all the comments and everything you did. I didn't do much on my sponsors tonight. I apologize to my sponsors. Please don't be mad at me. But guys, do me a favor if you would. Again, share theadvocates.org. Make my sponsors happy. Share with others. If many of you have taken it already, I know. Just share that. Let others know. Talk about it if you want to. And of course, if you are a CBD product user, please head on over to Grown Selection. Make your purchase there if you would. Libertarian-owned company, Sharpe Way 20 for 20% off. And here's a quick chat on how to deal with conversations this year with the advocates. Hey, Larry Sharpe, host of the Sharpe Way, and I know what you're thinking. Election's over. Holiday season is here. I've got to have conversations with family and friends after this. I know it can be tough. How do you restart that? How do you reconnect? It's all about respect, guys. It's about mutual respect, human respect, respect for our family and friends. Well, how do you rebuild that? How do you make that happen now? You find some common ground. How do you do that? You head on over to theadvocates.org. Take the world's smallest political quiz. It's 1 minute, just 1 minute. You take that 1 minute. All of a sudden you now share that, send it to your friends. You start talking about things that matter to you, not about people you love, not about people you hate, but instead about issues that matter to you. Bring that back, have that common ground, find that mutual respect, find that human respect. Take this test and share it, theadvocates.org. There we go. That guy is right. You should listen to him. No doubt. Have those conversations if you think it's appropriate. Absolutely. And of course, you're saying, Larry, legalized drugs. CBD is pretty good, isn't it? Larry Sharpe, host of the Sharpe Way here. Look, are you dealing with some anxiety, some stress, maybe some pain from hustling during this tough time? If you think a CBD product might help you relieve some of that anxiety or pain, head on over to grownselection.com. Check them out. High quality, top rated, libertarian owned. Looking for creams, powders, oils, whatever is going to make your health better. Check them out. Make a purchase. Put in Sharpe Way 20. Get 20% off. They're our sponsor. Support us. Support your health. grownselection.com. Guys, again, I want to say I appreciate all the comments. Just keep coming in. I appreciate everything you're trying to do. I really do. Thank you so much. Merry Christmas, guys. Happy New Year. Whatever you're celebrating. I will see you guys before the New Year, actually. I hope you enjoy your time off. I will see you all Monday of next week and Tuesday and Wednesday. So 3 shows next week for this week. Thank you so much for being here. I'll see you guys